Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back to those of you who were here last week. Welcome to the people who are new this week. If you're in for a great treat, we looked over the evaluations last week. Thank y'all so much. Good time. We got some great input, some new things. I am Crystal Taylor with the Maumee Bay Club president. We have all of our organizations here and a new organization that joined us today. So, ladies in the back, if you give us your names and tell us your organization. Thank you so much for joining us. And then we have new people that were not here last week. So, if you could introduce yourselves. Patty, how you doing? And the organization you with. There you go. All right. Anybody else? There you go. That's right. And awesome. Thank you. Everybody else was here last week. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I have a little gifty because we have one person who finished the entire university.
Wow.
And what the entire university.
Wow.
Miss Brenda Kennard. Come on up. I got a little gift for you.
Yay.
You got plenty
Whoa.
of time. Don't let. All right. Without further ado, today we are talking about duties of care, loyalty, and obedience up close with Miss Audrey Johnson. I know some people in here know Audrey, but maybe some people do not. Me and Audrey been rocking since 1999. We went way back, way back. Excellent woman. Member of NSPDK, teacher, taking care of students at many schools. I went to visit her at one of her schools. She had a clothes closet. She had just all this stuff. They didn't ask her to do that. She had those things available. This is a woman who loved children, loved educating, loved her community. You know her from Unbounded Artists, so she is an artist. You were also the executive director at Collingwood Art Center before. Renaissance woman. I've known her. I love her. You will know her today, and you will also love her. In our time today, she's going to get us hip to some additional things as we move through this journey. Everyone, without further ado, Miss Audrey Johnson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. It's good to see us in the room together as a collective to empower our community. I just love saying that, you know. Um, First of all, I want us to make sure that we set the space um, for God, our Creator, to align us today, to align me with you. I ask that He open up my mind, your mind, that He give us everything that we need in order to go out into our community and serve. Um, that's the intention for today. All right. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself to begin with. Crystal kind of gave you a quick view of who I am. I am a photographer. My degree, have a bachelor's degree in visual communications technology. I specialized in photography. That is my first line of compassion when it comes to my profession. As a VCT major, it encompassed everything that has to do with visual communications and how you get the message across to people. And I always wondered until I got older, like why I picked that major, but it really truly is something that defines who I am and how I connect with the community as a whole. And it led me to doing community work. That's not how I started, but that's how it ended up being. That what I majored in really truly has been the biggest tool that I've used in every position, every career move that I've made. I have led with that, and that's what brings me to this point today. And my presentation is gonna give you some insight through my own experiences. I don't know any other way to do it. Like I could do it from, the academic perspective, but I think through just those experiences and us all sharing. Today is going to be a lot of conversation. It's not going to just be me talking and giving information, because I think we all are way more equipped than we think we are. And having conversation allows us the opportunity to be connected and know what we're capable of beyond what we think. That's for sure. Um, I was talking to Milton, and I just have to say this part. Milton made me realize that it was one thing that I didn't put on there, and then Crystal said it, is that I was a youth activity specialist. That is how I became connected to young people in my beginning stages of my career. I was youth activity specialist for Lucas Metropolitan Housing Authority. I worked in all of the family housing developments, creating program and activity and delivering. So I drove the big gray LMHA van. I picked up kids from every resident facility in the city of Toledo and on the outskirts, and took them to every possible event that could come to my mind so they could have a great experience. And did a lot within like Ravine Park, Weiler Homes, Birmingham Terrace, McClinton Nuns, like all those places. I was everywhere and met Crystal at Gunkel School because LMHA used that building as an office building. So that was how my entrance to young people came through LMHA and the Boys and Girls Club, as we talked about the Boys and Girls Club. So it's nice to be here today. For one, to see people that I don't know, because I always feel like that's a sign when you see people that you don't know, and when you see young people. And I see a young person that I served, and I see him out here serving people. And wow, this is huge. It's important. So that's a little bit about me, and all those other things. They're just things. They're just things that I've done. But today we're going to talk about nonprofits. I founded a couple of nonprofits myself, and have watched them grow to where they stopped, and am growing one that is going to turn out to be an institution of greatness. Unbounded Artist Development Community. We are space makers for creatives. We have both a residential program where we have artists who come and stay at our residency from anywhere from a week to 6 weeks, so that they can create a body of work. It doesn't matter whether they're a visual artist, they could be a writer, they could be a musician, they could be a dancer, whoever they are, and we connect them with the local resources necessary for them to connect with their professional path. And then the other half of it is that we do community programming. So we have received monies from the city of Toledo Park and Recreations. We do art enrichment programs, Saturday programs. Also, just recently, as of last night, we found out we received monies from the state to do a Global Youth Day, and we'll do a program for Global Youth Day with some exchange students and our local community where Unbounded is located, to create an outdoor community space. So those are some things that we do with Unbounded. And so I just wanted to give you some numbers, some things to kind of like give you something to think about. It says nonprofit world in Toledo, Ohio. There are 4,638 organizations in the greater metropolitan Toledo area. That's a lot of nonprofits. Do you think we're oversaturated, or do like that's a lot of nonprofits? Are they all effective? I don't know, but that's how many we have. And it employs quite a few people, 65,000 people. The revenue, look at how much revenue, money. When you talk about a nonprofit, people don't like to talk about money. They kind of figure they don't have no money. 6 billion. Nonprofits have money. Assets. Nonprofits have assets. And I'm sure as time goes, you'll get to talk about money, you'll get to talk about assets, and that all of those things. What I was taught when I was executive director at Collingwood Arts Center is that a nonprofit is a business, and you have to run it like a business. It is in the business of spending the money that it has for its program, but it doesn't have to be broke. It doesn't have to have all of its savings and checkings account emptied out at the end of the year and not have any money. It can invest, it can create wealth for its organization to continue to grow. Girl Scouts, whom I worked for as outreach manager for many years, um, is the textbook example of a organization, nonprofit, run as a corporate entity. Corporate entity. And where do they make most of their money from? Cookies, cookie sales. So that, that tells us something. And what I wanted to do with this information was just kind of like open up your mind a little bit to let you know that nothing you do in this room is small, and it is not in competition with that 4,638 nonprofits. It's not in competition with that. It could be, but it's not. It's about making sure that all the things that we do are done in the way to help the people that we say we're serving. And those numbers are numbers that gives us an idea of what's out there. And some of them are probably duplicated, but they probably serve certain entities. It's so many different ways, but those are the numbers. Name some nonprofit organizations that you know of in Toledo. Boys and Girls Club, it's a nonprofit. Okay. YMCA. Okay. Yeah. Yes. 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 Charter schools, even charter schools are, even though it's a for-profit management, the schools themselves each have nonprofit status. They each have 501c3 nonprofit status. Uh, yes, a lot of churches. And this is a tidbit. I don't know if you all know this, but back when young President Bush was in office, he appointed the czar for HUD, the czar for the new czar for HUD under his administration. He decided that the monies that the housing authorities across the country did not need those monies to run programming because they were not in the business to of social work, so to speak. They were in the business of housing people. So then all that money was taken from that auspice of those or of the housing authorities. So youth activity specialists, which that was my job, they took that away. The sheriff's stations that were in the housing authority spaces, they took all the sheriff stations out of those spaces because that was not, according to them, what was to happen. And in that, those monies went another way. The monies went so that churches could access that money and create organizations or create entities that could serve the communities. So when you saw a lot of churches create, I want to say like sub organizations of the churches, and they were named whatever they were named. Yes, they were able to access that money to create those faith-based organizations, faith-based initiatives. That's where that money came from. And they took all of that out, and it was never going to return. They fought to keep it. It just didn't work. A lot of PAL's money came from that, all those things. So, and they redirected that money, and now that money is resurfacing a different way. So it's the same money. It just continues to resurface itself to do the purpose. But just to give you an idea that that's what does take place. And if you remember, um, Cornerstone Church, when that happened, Cornerstone Church had a big, huge meetings a couple of times, and they had all these people come from the community faith-based organizations, churches, to talk about the money coming down the pipe and how you would be able to access that money and what you would be able to do. That was where that came from. Just to give you a little back story from it. I know it because I was in the middle of it and it took my job. What can you say? but it forced me to do many other things. So, just wasn't supposed to do that no more. That's how that went. Um, People always want to serve. You all are here today because you want to serve, right? You want to do something to make it better for someone else, something to make it better for yourself. We always want to serve. Um, and that need to serve is never unnoticed, because whoever you help, however you help them, they are, forever grateful. Even if you never see them again, they're forever grateful because you fitted a need. You took a space and you did something great for them, and made their lives different. And however you did that, that's for sure. So people always are um, willing to serve the community. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into sustainability, from an action plan that you will develop. We will break up. We were supposed to break up in 10 groups because I thought it was going to be more people, but we'll break up in groups, and build a base for a nonprofit. You will be given a nonprofit idea to develop into something great. Discussions and ideas will lead to a greater understanding of why we do the work, and why it's important, and what loyalty. I think the basis of learning the loyalty and the obedience and the care that it takes for a nonprofit when you create it helps you understand how the sustainability even comes about. It's just maybe a little different look at it, but I think it's important. Um, how many of you all are in an organization that has been established, let's say, 5 years or more? Any organization that you've been in that's been 5 years or more? How many are part of an organization that is, let's say, brand new? How new? Couple. Okay, all right, yeah. They're going to be our best experts because they're a couple months in the game. You all will have the best knowledge, and you'll get a lot out of this because you're so new. Um, wow, I didn't expect you to say that. That's all right. Okay, first, we're going to touch on a couple of simple rules to the game. 3 responsibilities: the duty of care, the duty of loyalty, the duty of obedience. These are primary legal duties for any corporation, including nonprofits. Can somebody give me their definition of care? What's your definition of care? Anybody? Definition of care. Milton can't be my only person talking in the room today. go, go ahead. When I think about the duty of care, is how you treat the people that come to you for service, and how you treat your workers. Okay. Anybody else? Duty of care, and it doesn't have to come just from organizational perspective. It can come from any perspective, because care is care of care. It's how you take care. It's how you handle certain situations that you're dealing with people or servicing them, in a way. Basically, you treat people how you want them to treat you. Yeah. Or treat your family. Right. Right. Yes. How you listen. Okay. Okay. Yes. That's cool. The well-being of someone. Yeah. Looking out for them. Yeah. As a whole person. Yes. The time that you give them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna take it to a mental health standpoint. Self care. Wow. Self, right? That's gonna be reflected. Whatever. That's right. Right. If we don't take care of ourselves first, how can we be good for anybody else? Huh? Yeah. That's true. Thank you. That's a good one. Duty of loyalty. Ride or die. Loyalty.
I would say integrity.
Okay. Okay. Integrity. Yes.
I would say that you first you have loyalty, to your own self because me, and I'm not going to jail for nobody. Family members or friends,
Nobody.
so I think my loyalty is going to be based on how you acting. Because I'm not going to do, like I'm do or die. Because if you acting crazy, I'm holding my hand up and I'm going to the door. And I'm hesitate for you or nobody I know. The last person I almost hesitated for my sister, and that was like 50 years ago. And I went home and I told my mama, them your kids? Your kids, and I find them your kids.
Your kids. Right. Yes. Unconditional love. Yeah. That and unconditional love can be hard. That can be hard because I mean that word unconditional. We can redefine that word so many times so that it doesn't mean what it means. And we can skip over and go through and all those things. But unconditional love is highly important, especially when you're doing community work, because based on what you are doing and what space you're in, the community can be different. The face can look different. The experiences can be different. And can you get past those differences and continue to serve? That part is definitely loyalty. Duty of obedience. Obedience. Duty of obedience. Duty of obedience. What does that mean? Like a job. You're right. Duty. That duty and part of the obedience, I think, takes it even to a higher level of thinking. So, what does duty of obedience? What does obedience mean to you? Yes.
I would say in this everything that you do, the rules, um, even when you don't agree.
You say even when you don't approve?
Even when you don't agree.
Agree. Okay. Responsibility. Anybody else? Duty of obedience. Yes.
I think too that you have to take the time to understand what the rules are and what the policies are. Sometimes people, they overlook that. But taking the time to know the facts, for yourself. I'm a big proponent of that. That you understand what the policies are and what the rules are for yourself. Not necessarily, taking someone's word for it, but know the policies for yourself. Take the time to learn that. And then to be current on what the policies are, because a lot of times policies may change. I think that is, like I say, with all the heartache.
Obedience. Obedience. It can mean those things that directly have to do with the organization. Yes, but obedience in a larger sense of outside of the organization, obedience in how you treat one another, how you treat the people that you serve, obedience in just making sure that you stay on track, of what you're doing and who you are individually and who you are as a group. Like, are you obedient in what you say you are and how you say you're going to complete this mission or this vision or these initiatives that you put forth, and those become individual and group. Because one thing we know, when you walk away from the organization, you are still the organization. Just like when you leave your job at 5 o'clock, you are still your job in your conduct. So are you still following some of those obediences that are necessary, the loyalty that's necessary, the care that's necessary individually beyond what you do as a group? That's something to really think about. It's something to make decisions upon. Do those things change? Yes, they do change, and those are the kind of conversations as an organization that should be had frequently, so that you can always make sure that new people coming into the organization are on the same wavelength, and is the organization changing, and does some of those things need to change? So the care, the loyalty, and the obedience to me are like one of those first things, and it's not necessarily what we'll talk about through this whole time today, but those are the things that are really, really, really important: is care, loyalty, and obedience. Like, I think that just sets the pace, especially for new organizations. It's one thing when we say, "Oh, I want to, be a part of this organization. It's already been established. It's already has it rule. It already has everything set up, and either we just follow what everybody else is doing. We may not even read the packet. We just follow what everybody else. Yeah, yeah, right? Okay? We just do it because that's what the nature of the experience is amongst the people who are in that organization. So today, I am going to take us a different route, because I want us to know what it's like to be in the beginning, to start at the beginning. And we talk about founders and board of directors. Those things, three top responsibilities, should be at the forefront of building a long-lasting nonprofit institution. This message should be apparent with anyone who joins the organization at any time. This is what creates sustainability. Primary duty of founders, board of directors, board members, community supporters, volunteers. Like, everybody should always know who we are, what we do, how we serve, and we should always kind of reiterate those things as much as we can, so that it stays in the forefront of all of us. Because we get so busy with the work, sometimes we forget that to what the work is, because we just doing it. And I think that makes sense. And I'll tell you, I sit on the education committee for Toledo Museum of Art. And the well, he's not the chairman anymore, but the chairperson, I'll just say it this way: the chairperson of that board, at the opening of that committee, at the opening of each time, they say the mission and they say the purpose of that committee every time we have that meeting. And you don't think about it, and then when they say it, it's like, oh, and it kind of puts us all like flat-footed, straight ahead. Okay, this is what we're here for, this is what we're doing, and this is why we're having this conversation, and everything that's on this agenda. It just kind of sets the pace for it. And I have experienced that in the last 2 years, and I think it makes a difference. And if it's something you can adopt in some sort of way, I've learned it trying to adopt it. There's always room to learn to make things better, basically. Yeah. Okay, so this is the fun part. We're going to break up into groups. And at that point, because I don't know that everyone in the room knows everyone, I certainly don't know everyone, but I thought this was a great way. We're going to break up into groups, and we're going to just say our names, what our hobbies are, and where's our favorite place to vacation. Something that's just more about you than it is about what you do, where you work, like those kind of things. And then I'm going to give you a random sheet of paper you get to pick, and it has the name of an organization that you are going to develop. And that's how we're gonna do this session, so that we have a chance to work together and interact. This is a way that I'll get to know you all a little bit more, because I'll get to walk around, hear what you're talking about, talk to you, and those types of things. So I think it's going to be interesting. At this point, we can break up into, yeah, we're gonna count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we can do 5 groups. That's what I have planned for, is 5 groups. So let's start here, and we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember your number, and then and then we'll split up in groups. No. See, it's always somebody in a row. She's starting up.
One, two. One, two, three, four.
Okay. Okay. So, let's see. I know. Okay. Let's put all the ones over here. So you're gonna have to get up and move. One's at this table, two's here, three's here, four's here, five's there. Make it easy. Five's over here. Yes.
Which one? This one?
Yes.
Okay. I'll wait till they get all together.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna pass them all out, or wait, or you want to pass them all out?
I made these up.
Okay.
And there are probably things that I subconsciously would want to do one day in my life. And it's a couple of them in here. I'm like, oh boy, whoever gets this one. But it's gonna be fun. We are stretching imaginations here today. Okay, I'm gonna start over here. Who out of this group over here wants to pick? Who wants to be the one who gets blamed for picking their particular nonprofit that they're gonna develop today? They say you gonna be you the main, you the main, you the main. Don't open it. Don't open them yet. Don't open them yet. I want everybody to get theirs so that we get size all at once. Who wants to pick theirs? Milton? Who's picking it? Milton? Don't open it yet.
All right. You better pick a good one. Okay, which one y'all?
Don't open it. Don't open it. Don't open it. Don't open it. Who picking? You picking? This is so fun. I've been wanting to do this all week. Who's picking? Who's picking? You pick? There's just two left. Yeah. And this is your groups. Okay. Everybody has theirs. Now you can open it and see what you are as a nonprofit for the day. Okay, so you're gonna go around. Let's start. We're gonna start with group one, and we're just gonna go group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're gonna say what your nonprofit is. Group 1, what's your nonprofit?
Exploration for urban families.
Career exploration for urban families. Remember that. Number 2. Number 3.
Pet care for the underserved community.
Pet care.
Pet care. Shoes for everyone. What's number 5? Home economics 101. Okay. You know what? I actually, truly, I like I said, these are things that I probably think about all the time, just like based on my experiences of some things that I do. For instance, the foreign language. For Black African American families. That is so important to me that because I am a host, I'm a local coordinator and a host parent for American Cultural Exchange Services. So I have had the experience in the last, I don't know what, 3-4 years. Well, longer than that, because I've always been connected with them. But I've actually hosted some young people for the last 4 years. And they've all come from different parts of the continent. Intentionally, I wanted to host African students, for as equally as important as it is to them to be connected to a Black African American family. It's important for us to know them and know their culture, because it's not our culture. We are Americans. I had to go to Africa and stand in the middle of Accra and look around and be happy to be there and say, you know what, dang blasted, I am an American, dang it. It, I, I want to live there somewhere on the continent. I ain't got to live there forever, but I truly want that experience. But the reality is, I'm an American. I was a foreigner. What can I say? So, but in that, the importance of us, not necessarily being able to speak the language, but understand that there are other languages out there, and inspire our young people, inspire ourselves to stick our toe in the idea of learning a foreign language, because every other country on the face of this earth knows more than one language, more than one. Our children, I'm talking about our children, our babies. Public school system doesn't make it mandatory. We don't worry about it. We don't think about it. We don't give them any of those tools. When I say we, I'm talking about the larger masses. I'm not talking about that sprinkle of people who do those things, because there are us that do them. But for the large masses amount, we don't at all. And it's a disservice to live in a world that is compromised by technology and the fact that they are now in competition with the world and they're losing. So that's why that's in there. So those are kind of like my thoughts as to why y'all got some of the stuff you got. But so today, what you're going to do today is you're going to take that deep dive into creating a nonprofit. And I thought that was like the best way to understand sustainability. One, because some of you all have probably just only come into an organization that's already been established. Some of us are in organizations that's been established over 100 years. So those people were grassroots at one point, right? Every organization is grassrooted at some point, and it sustains itself, and the years take place, and it grows, and they become institutions. Some of us are now part of institutions. And I look at Unbounded, and when I'm talking to my peers and I'm talking to people when it comes to the business of Unbounded, I talk to them in the business of, we are creating an institution, because Unbounded is not going anywhere. It's somewhere that should stand the test long before, after I'm gone. And the stability should only grow. And I don't know exactly what the growth is going to look like, but I know I'm setting the standard for the growth to take place. And I think that helps us all understand organizations better if we get to do this experience this way. And for those people who are experiencing, like the two wonderful young ladies that are 2 months in, I hope that this conversation can help them, just kind of get an understanding, which they already have if they're 2 months in, of just the nitty gritty of how things get started. So what we're going to do today is just a small exercise. It's not going to give you like the most in-depth process, but it gives you a good start, because it's the basic, it's the beginning stage that takes place all the time. So that's how we're gonna do that. And we're gonna talk about naming the organization, establishing a mission and a vision. What type of board structure is needed at executive level and a general level, as well as the members and the volunteers and all those things. The beginning of sustainability meetings, ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance, and which is kind of the care, the loyalty, and the obedience that kind of falls under ESG in my thinking for nonprofits. Fundraising, marketing, technology, communication. How do we make all those things happen? Those are going to be the things that we have a chance to explore. And I'm gonna we're gonna do a little bit about ESG just because ESG is like a buzzword now. I like every time I turned around when I was doing this research, I kept seeing ESG, and I was like, I need to grasp around this a little bit more so that I can give them something that is an industry word that, based on where you are and who you're in the room with, you may hear this and you'll know what it is, or you may have to explain it to someone, just in case. So the term to be familiar with, that's so important, is ESG. It's a responsibility and sustainability buzzword in the nonprofit sector. Talk about it and note what that means for the nonprofit you're building. So here, ESG matters are incorporated in purpose, governance, strategy, decision making, risk management, and accountability. ESG is the term in the marketplace that refers to a set of standards that reflect an organization's criteria for being ethical and socially conscious about the environment. And that can be environment, meaning the actual environment, meaning do you have small ecosystems set up to be important to the environment that we all live in? It could be recycling. It could be something really, really simple. Though, are you using less paper? Like that kind of stuff. So just so you know, an environment also meaning the space that you make for people to be in, whether it's the space of a building where you're housed, or it's the space everywhere you are. Like this space, the women today created this space for us to be able to come in and function. The space I'm creating in order to deliver this material so that you can understand it. Those kind of environments. An example is it set a standard on how well organizations act as stewards of nature and its resources. This happens by how an organization manages its relationships with employees, vendors, and other people. There is, I'm hoping that I can hit this and this will come up. It should come up. This is going to be a short TED talk that talks about. Oh, oh, there, yay! Okay, I know that probably was at first like, what does this mean? But you can unpack so many things from other conversations, and this TED Talk, I'm a TED Talk person. I just love what it brings to me in knowledge. And this one was particularly, amazing because stories get our attention, and they really help us think about things from a wider perspective. And the stories that he was telling about ESG like trumped everything else because it made it relatable, something that we can understand as to how we can impact our organizations that already exist, organizations that we develop. And it helps us keep in mind that we have young people who are going to take our place in these organizations. And whether you want to believe it or not, these are things that are natural to them because they're of that generation. It's not something they have to think about. We have to think about it, like, oh, I should recycle. Oh, I should do this. That's just a part of their footprint, so to speak, as to who they are, and they automatically do it. They live that way. They are not. I worked for a young person, Jason White. And anytime I get to mention his name, I do that because he was not only my employer, but before he was that, he was one of my best friends. And Jason is the same age. He was the same age as my son. If he were living, he'd be 35 years old right now. But He working in an environment that I was truly the elder in the building helped me understand how young people function in this world on a professional end and just general life. Jason didn't want to see no sticky notes nowhere. He'd come around. We'd hide them. Me and Tish would hide our little sticky pads, and he'd find them, and he'd get rid of them. And I'm like, what? Because he was like, why do you need it? Like you have everything. We had Macs. All of us. I learned how to use Macs because of Jason. And it was like, you have Macs, you have this. Let me show you this. He was a systems person and really really good at it, just brilliant. All these things that made our office run very efficiently, that otherwise I thought I needed all this stuff. Like us today would drive him crazy in this room with all this paper and all this book. Like, why? Everybody should just have a laptop and a phone, and we can purely function without that. We can't. All we really need is those two things in the backpack. Put stuff in, and you got everything you need right there with you. It's just putting your mind in that mindset to do that. So when you are thinking about the longevity and the sustainability at this point for organizations who've been around a long time, those organizations are slowly changing some of the systems and some of the things that they do to become more eco-friendly. And as new organizations, these are things you get to think about and develop as time goes in your first beginning stage of thinking that by the time a new generation comes in to serve this organization on the back end of being board members and volunteers and all this kind of stuff, what is that going to look like? How they going to manage this thing? And they'll be so grateful that even if everything isn't changed, that we thought about it and we set a platform for it. They'll be grateful. Like at least we know their minds were going that way, and they come in and they already know what to do to tighten it up and make it better, right? So that was my whole point of making sure that we talked about ESG. Tell me what you thought about such a compact conversation that he was giving us through that TED Talk. I'm interested to know what you thought.
I'm curious to know, or if you can elaborate on when he said businesses are bigger than government
Businesses are bigger than government. Like, and we all know this anyway, that corporate America and corporate structure and through lobbyists and all of those things, they run this country more than our government runs this country. That's just like the basic, simple. The people who have the money and the power are corporate structure. And they say that there's really only 8 families within our structure of the United States of America that run this total country. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true, but and you think about those large corporations, they're still existence. Ford Company, uh, Sam Walton, and he's new. They're new at this, but think about Carnegie Hall and the Rockefellers, Carnegie. Like you can probably go to almost every large city in the United States of America and go to the cemetery, and you're gonna see a Rockefeller tombstone somewhere, right? So that's what he means in that structure.
now. So how do we position ourselves as nonprofits to become an institution?
I think in the beginning, if not in the beginning stages now, it's never too late, and that means by making sure that we take care of those infrastructure things that are necessary for us to never die, so to speak, and that would mean how we set up our operational system, our technology, like all those things and we're going to take a deep dive into those things enough for everybody to just kind of understand it. But I think though at the very beginning, from the mission to the vision to the initiatives that you set to how you execute those things, all of those things determines sustainability and long lasting. Even if they change, if we set up the right platform, the change is easy because the change comes because everybody in the room knows that it's time for us to change this, or it's time for us to make some things different. And one of the ladies said, even if we don't agree, but we know we got to do it, because I want to use post-it notes. I don't want you, you know.
I am for you.
Right, right. You know, but if the office says that that's not what we doing, then that I just put my post-it note in my pocket. I keep it on. Yeah, all right. But that is like the basics that how I can explain
But
it.
I think we as older generation, I'm a post-it note user, but I also use it because it helps me remember. I'm in a position where is that I feel I might be past that time of trying to reset.
Oh, I'm
But
I
but I'm keeping it
I'm
real.
right, 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 right. And you got a room full of peers that gonna help you move forward in a way that makes sense for you. Nobody says you have to stop doing
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I would love to be green, but
Mhm.
some of my, immediate environment does not allow me to be green. I'm in an apartment. We don't have recycling. I would love to recycle,
Mhm.
but my
Mm.
apartment complex does
Doesn't
not have
recycle.
a recycling bin.
Wow. Wow.
But they keep going up on my rent,
Oop.
and I don't have no security.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Their carbon footprint. There you go. Right. That's a conversation. I'm surprised. Yeah. 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 Yep. I saw her. And then I'll get you. Jackie.
It's
You
not
raise your
as
hand.
hard because it's the little things. Remember years ago when the Blackberries came out? I
Mhm.
was like, Lord, I can't learn this, but somebody walked me through it, and the more I got used to it, it's like, wow. And even today with the iPhone, they got a notes section. You can do voice memos and everything, but it just takes time to learn it. So it's not that hard. You can't come away from those post-it notes because that paper ends up in your pocket somewhere, gets washed, and if you like, what did I say I was gonna do? Whereas if it's on your phone, you
Well, no,
always have it.
I
But
keep
it
mine
does.
very visible. They like you know very visible.
But it takes time. I've even had a young person come into our organization, and we've been
Okay.
around a long time, and said, okay, there's a better way to do this, so
Yep.
we can start keeping track of our records
Yep.
a more efficient way.
Yeah.
And I know it's doable because my son talked about me so bad about my calendar because I was the one that carried the calendar in my purse. I was the paper.
Rubber band around it.
Yeah, child. So I'm finally using my phone as my calendar now, and it does help me be even more efficient because I'm the organizer's organizer.
Mhm.
Step by step.
Step by
But
step.
I don't want to have to buy an iPhone to have that cute little note part. So anybody that got a Android, can you teach me?
No, it's on Android. Well, I got iPhone and Android. Like it's on everything. But the
It
thing
is.
with Apple is that okay, I write it on my notepad, right? I'm
So
writing it
you
on
got three different.
I'm writing it on my
You got the
notepad.
electronic
But
section
as
of Best
well,
Buy.
it's on my phone, right? I can pull it up on my phone, and it's also on my laptop. So we're in on my watch. So wherever I'm at, yes, I can always pull it up. It don't come with a pencil, you gotta buy it. But that's the convenience of it.
Yeah.
Apple
Girl,
is
you
all about
dinging
convenience.
everywhere.
I am sorry.
Dinging all
And
over
then
the
see,
place.
I'm writing it here, right? And I can pull it up right here.
Yeah. 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 Hold on one second. She had something to say here. Yeah.
Everything. But everything.
Right. They yes, they should figure it out. Yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
One thing I was going to say, you were saying about sustainability. How can we come here? I worked for years for East Toledo Family Center. They've been around now for 120 years or so.
Uh,
One of the things I noticed that they do is forever hiring young people.
mhm.
And when they do that, they do welcome all of the new innovations and things that are going on. And I think that is one of the things that helps them remain sustainable. Because a lot of times I know one of the directors barely had a degree, but she's doing awesome, awesome right now. And it's because of the people that she surrounds herself with. She makes sure her board members, she's got young people on her board member board on the board, making sure that they can bring some value to the table. And I think that's really important that we keep ourselves surrounded by people who understand new technology and things like that.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else? Anything that you heard through his
Just
talk?
piggybacking what they saying, I got an old soul, but I believe you still have to keep the seasoned people around because
Oh,
I feel like
yes.
those are the ones that keep you grounded and things like because a lot of younger people. I mean, I'll be 43 in a couple of days, but a lot of younger people they don't have that integral mindset or that what we were talking about earlier, that loyalty mindset, things like that. And a lot of the older people do. So, with the younger people, it's like it gotta go hand in hand with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Cross generational is important. Yeah, yeah. Cross generational in every experience is very, very, very important. It's very valuable. Brenda Kennard and I, we have been long-standing members of Women of Toledo, and that is the one thing that makes women, because Women of Toledo is a fairly young organization, but because it is so cross generational, like we get to move up the ladder, we get to move around. Like now we are considered the advisory of Women of Toledo, and we get to pick and choose where we want to be active and how much we want to be active at. But believe me, those women take advantage of having that older generation of women in their presence, because they will call you, they will email you, they will text you. They want to know when they're trying to figure something out, when things are going awry, a ruck. They are always going to make sure that they have us somewhere close by in that process, even with the board, because that board is a new board now. I don't know any of those girls except for maybe one or two. First time seeing a lot of them. But let something not jive the way it makes sense for the organization's environment, they always coming back, because they never want to get rid of the mission and the vision that was set in place as a founding member that I was able to get to be a part of, to set. As long as I'm able to give them some guidance, I'm available to them in that way. And Brenda's available to that way, and I think that's important as well. But definitely. And the thing about young people is their integrity is intact. And they are, but they, I want to say, they exhibit their integrities in different ways that we do. We're as older people, we're a little bit more passionate. We have a lot more words to it. They about action, and they're not about it being personal. That there's not a lot of emotion attached to that. This is what logically makes sense, and this is how it needs to be done. And period. And when I said that, I started thinking about Tara. I did, because I've known her a long time, and she's always been that progressive young person that she's keeping it 100 in front, and all that other stuff in between. It doesn't, that part doesn't matter to her. It's about this thing right here and getting it done and what we said we're going to do. My son is a part of Unbounded's board, and he always pulls me back because I'm that compassionate person. It comes from all the other places. He's like, this is what we said we're going to do. This is to get this done. Like, okay, but it's important. Those things are important. Those are important. So everybody understands what ESG means. And when you hear that word out in corporate, nonprofit, whatever, it'll kind of resonate with you, at least to know what that means and what that looks like. Wait a minute, did I go too fast? No, I didn't. Okay. Remember that we're planning for leaders that we want to recruit who will lead our organizations forward. because we are not always going to be there. We are not always going to be those people. Those people are going to be new people. And even for the younger people in this room, it's not going to always be you. So it is what it is. This generation of people are technology driven, they're socially conscious and financially stable. They look for those basics within organizations that they want to be active participants in, because they are financially a lot more stable than we think they are. They use their monies differently. They are not they use their monies differently, but they're not intimidated by money. They're not intimidated by finance. If this is what I want, this is what I'm getting, because it's more money where that came from. Where we gonna hold on to that piece of money, and we gonna milk that money, and we gonna do all that, and still say no. Difference, difference. So those are things that we get to think about in our established organizations, whether we've been there 100 years, 1 year, 5 years, or 2 months. These are things that we should think about so that we can help our organizations progress forward in a really good way. And this is the one thing for me that I was talking to a couple artists last week. We were at a community meeting. um, there is a Martin Luther King mural on the backside of Glenwood. Is it Glenwood Presbyterian? Right there next to the art museum. Is that Glenwood? Okay. There's a mural on the backside of Martin Luther King, and they had a community forum, invited a couple people so that they could explain the history of that mural and how it came about and what had to happen to make the mural be what it is today. And that mural, if you have a chance to see it, you should look at it because it's absolutely beautiful. And it came from the cover of Amanda Gorman's book. And then they just talked about the process of the artists and getting the permission from the publishers. Like, it's a lot to get that mural up there, but it's there. And everybody was totally happy in all those institutions and entities to be able to make that happen. And who knows, we may have Amanda Gorman show up in Toledo in the future soon, maybe, but so that it could be even a bigger thing. There are curriculums for anybody out there that is educators or connected to organizations that look for actual activity to do with kids or families. There are actually, that information is going to be made available, that there's a curriculum that goes along with that mural that people can tap into. Just FYI, keep your eye out for that. But um when I left there, what I said to the two artists that were with me is, what I saw today, this is what I want to see in my community with my people. Because that mural was up there talking about a man who is us, who looks like us, and all that he's done for this world. And that room was predominantly European. There might have been maybe 4 African American, maybe 5 in the room for that presentation. And this was somebody who just saw an idea. He wasn't an artist, none of that stuff, just believed in Martin Luther King, what he stands for, and believes in community, and loves art, and said, let's do this, and just started grabbing at straws, pulling people together to make that mural happen. And now they and had some people donate a little bit of money because they had to do some work to the structure of the church in order to be able to paint the mural up there. They still had to do a couple little things. Put about $10,000 into it, got the mural up there. Then there's still some other monies that need to happen. So they looked to raise like $30,000. That little room, that conversation, and people volunteering other people's money, like they got money, they could write a check. It ain't no big deal. We gonna find them, and boom, it can happen just like that. There is no reason why that can't happen amongst our people. There's no reason. We have money. We spend money on everything we want to spend money on. but we don't invest it fully into our community as collectives. We have all these hedges up as to why we don't do it, but we will market, advocate to other organizations, other entities for their money to be invested into our organizations, and they don't look like us. And sometimes we get a little mad at them because they ain't trying to give us their money, or they ain't give us what we wanted, or but nobody really owes us anything on that end. No one. And now with how many 4,638,000 nonprofits in the city of Toledo that's employing 65,000 people, that's where the competition comes in. You're not competing to serve, you're competing for the money. So, wouldn't it be wonderful if through just a mind shift in time that we could become that same reflective of our own community? Where does that come from? Understanding sustainability, understanding how we get to the next level. Where does it come from? Experiences like this one today. Because it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with somebody. I figure if I am able to give this message to this group, to us, and reinforce it myself, and we get it, then we go back however many people that you're connected with in that way, or just by your actions, you can change that. And there are people who give $5, $10, people who give millions of dollars, people who set their stuff up for when they transition to have to maybe $25,000 will go to the bird watchers, and $5,000 will go to so and so, and the rest of the money goes to my family. Whatever that looks like, we have to learn these things, and we have to start to be able to practice these things. So that's important when it comes to the long-term approach to the next generations. Somebody raised their hand. Yes.
What I want to say is we can't be afraid to ask people for money.
No.
Don't be afraid to ask our people for money. Because I think about when I was growing up, how the women would sell pies, to take us on trips. And you can say anything what you want to say. Those women did a lot of things with some pies when I think about it. And I was a hustler. I would sell them pies for them. But I'm telling you, but that little thing, but they was helping us out, and it's just a small thing, whatever you can do. And we can't be afraid to, when you send something out. I haven't, like Cherry Street, they always write me, send me a donation. And I think about they constantly writing you. And so if you have a nonprofit and somebody come to your thing, you got to like occasionally write those people at least quarterly and say, hey, we need a donation. And don't be afraid to do that because, like you said, I think it'll help.
Yeah. All those things matter. All those things matter in sustainability. And this today, I'm just touching on experiences and helping you to open up your minds and think about all these things collectively, and just experience in developing them, so that as you go forward with the other presentations, that you'll have a framework that comes from this experience to help you go into the more deep dive of those things individually, because that part is a whole nother beast. Yes, ma'am.
Big organization, but for agencies that actually do have like United Way drives and things like that. From an HR standpoint, you hear the staff saying we're going to be we're not telling you, but you can designate it out. So whatever agency that you use in your community, look at that and then designate your dollars to that place. And then if they don't, I'll just recommend like the prejudice center and certain things like that. Put the number down and your money will go directly to that. So when you designate your money with United Way, whatever you designate or that agency, they get those dollars directly to them. And then the rest of the money, the general fund, they still
Yeah.
for our agency.
Yes, yes. Those are things that are valuable, that we should all consider and think about. This is just information is power. So that's what we do it today. Nonprofit profit initiatives. ESG is one thing, nonprofit initiatives is another. Philanthropic initiatives in the Black African American community that is documented begins with Tommy LaFone, 1810 to 1893, 19th century businessman in New Orleans, and he was well known for his generous philanthropic advocacy for racial justice. He was a businessman, New Orleans. He took his dollars and gave them back to the Black community in New Orleans to help establish that racial justice fight that takes place across our country. But it started with somebody who gave their money, and there were a lot of Black African Americans who have done that. Excuse me, one second. It's that bag right there. Come around to the other side. You see it sitting in the chair. Yeah, thank you. So I just kind of listed some people that we might not have known, some people that we do know of people who do philanthropy work, Black African Americans who do philanthropic work. I was listening to is it Robert Johnson? Robert Johnson, I think his name. He's been giving a lot of money to HBCU, clearing up debts a lot for Morris, for Spelman and Morehouse College. Okay. Um, and I was listening. There was this brief interview with him, and he was talking about people look at him as just being like one of those extraordinary people in the Black African American community who gives a lot of money, and he continues to give it. And he says that he is doing it for one because he needs to set an example and his pace for us as a people. He doesn't care about how unconventional it is. He don't care how it look. He doesn't care what anybody has to say about it because it's important that we establish that amongst our people from us. That's the biggest thing is we have to do it for us because if we do it, we set an example for again our young people. It's one thing to do the work, but if you don't have no money, the work is only going to be this big and it's never going to grow. So you have to have money to do the work. Money is a conversation you have to have. And that was just a list of some different different people who give money. I don't know if you can think of some people that you may know on a personal level, that you may know on a national level, but it's just something to think about in the way of philanthropic initiative. A nonprofit initiative is an organization or a program created to achieve a specific charitable or public serving goal. Such initiatives are usually fed by passionate individuals who want to make a difference in their communities. Theaster Gates, and I don't know if this might not do what the other one did because it's not showing up blue. But Theaster Gates is another person that I thought we should hear from. Will it do it if I tap it?
What time we gonna eat lunch?
What? Oh,
It's
um,
11:30 now.
it's 11:30 now.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. We can stop here. We can stop here when we come back. We'll do well, we'll find it. So we can stop here. We'll come when we come back, we'll do Theaster Gates and then we're gonna do some work. That'll work? Okay.
Well, we could probably copy it and put it in
And put
somewhere.
oh,
Watch it during lunch.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you.
I'm good. You're welcome.
So we have Janae. She'll tell us what our lunch is today. We can get that. I'll get this video going so we can watch this while we eat lunch. Do you want us to work on that first paper while we eat lunch, or is it how long is this video?
That video is like I think it's like 13 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's about 13 minutes. They can watch
we
it.
do this afterwards.
Yes.
So watch the video.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Janae, you can tell them about lunch, and then we will work on this.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Good afternoon. I am your chef for the day. We have loaded southern chili on today.
Or I could just
I will serve you
and get it.
because that's what I do. On this end, you can grab your dessert, which is famous cookies, and your package of oyster crackers, and your spoon and napkin. We have, let's see, we're going to move this to this end so you can do your hand sanitizer over here. All right. And I do have
Theaster Gates. I have to tell you that I saw him way back, who knows when, and I saw that first TED Talk, and he has put that seed in me, and that was probably 15 years ago. And I just get emotional thinking about it because I forgot that till I did this, that he was a part of my vision, that he opened up my mind on a whole nother level. And I went to see him about a month ago. He was at University of Michigan. He did a talk. Just get me fired up. That's all. And I hope it did the same for you, because it's an opportunity to see something from a different perspective, and how somebody can make a difference and you don't even realize what you can do. How you don't have to know everything. I don't profess to know everything, but if you just get started, it'll all come. I can't tell you, so much stuff has come to me through what he was saying, that I'm where I'm at now in my process. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's what we're going to do today. Is now teaching me. I'm getting it. So now we're going to take this dive into creating a nonprofit. Just a little taste. Everybody has the worksheet. Okay. All right. And what we're going to do is, you have broken up into your groups, and you're going to take your little piece of paper with the name of the organization that you are creating. You have been given a lot of base knowledge to kind of think about how you would form an organization, and just a little bit of what that takes. And I'm gonna give you guys probably about 15. I got enough to give about 15? Oh, okay. So we're good. So first off, get to know each other real quick. Who you are, what's your favorite hobby, and what's your favorite place to vacation? Something that has nothing to do with anything. Then once you've had those kind of conversations, just to kind of get to know each other, I want you to talk about creating this nonprofit that you have a paper for. And the main things that you want out of that is the name of an organization. You're going to create a mission of what that organization is, a vision as to what you see the organization accomplishing, and initiatives, meaning how are you going to accomplish it? And you're going to add an ESG in there. You're gonna do a little bit of everything, just so it all makes sense to you on a piece of paper, and you can lead someone else down that same road, or you can help your organizations go forward in some things that it may need to do now, so to speak. So that's where we're gonna start at. No. Yeah, because I gave her one, so she's good. Yep.
You got one?
Yeah, no, I don't, but I can. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna give y'all about, let's say 20 minutes. I was gonna say 15, but I'll give you 20 minutes. Let's see how far we get. Like I said, this isn't like for you to rack your brain too hard. It's teamwork, team building, team effort. Yes. Did she start? Wait a minute. No, she said go ahead. And I know what you're talking about. I don't even know the name, but I think that is the most awesomest program, and it is working.
When I tell you that
She got a well-oiled. Yep. 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 You need something? You good? You all right? You good?
Oh, here, I forgot to grab a bottle of water.
Oh, okay.
Give you the structure, give you structure.
No. Ask me, because I think it's so much better. Governance.
Is that like policy?
Yes.
Procedure?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yep.
we're
You know,
all
like your bylaws, your
different languages.
confidentiality agreements. People don't think about that. Confidentiality agreements.
So we're gonna start with
It's another one.
Inglewood area.
Confidentiality. And there's one more that's like a really important one, but definitely confidentiality. But just so that people are all on the same page and they understand the importance of that. You know, conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. And the only reason why I say that because I'm running up against that with a board member now, and it's like, look, conflict of interest does not mean shit's illegal. It just means it's a conflict, and you have to resolve it and figure out how you're going to go forward or not. Right, that is important because trust me, you're going to get somebody that's going to push you. So I just gave you somebody and gave nobody else, so y'all going to have that on y'all. I know what they got, chicken. Look, right, you know black people not love chicken. Like, wait a minute, chicken. Right, you know black people smell chicken. They like, what? Where did y'all get it from? Where did y'all go? Oh, you got it from Earth? Oh, okay. I've never not had good food there, ever.
That's good.
Is it spicy or like not spicy? So did this turn your wheels even more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, it just like opens up, and then you like, wait a minute, I gotta slow myself down. And you got that kind of mind.
Oh yeah.
You know, you do. I know it.
It goes far. Like I say, all right, come on back.
Right, like. Yep.
Too far.
That's why.
Go there,
but you gotta come back because we still got this to do, and you gotta go to work.
It's right here. Yeah.
You know, it took me years to get to that part.
Yeah.
Because it's forever flowing.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's so much to do.
There's so many people to serve.
This thing, I'm telling y'all, I thought of each one of those because that's stuff I think about.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do all this.
Yeah. Right.
So now I put it on y'all's brain. How we doing? It is 12:56. 105, and we should all be done. 105. Oh, you. There are some people that are at that page, but this page should not have to be a fresh. This should be a repeat of something y'all already got. You don't have to put a whole lot, but just enough for me to know that you understand it. And the same with the initiative. Y'all probably already done that. That's just yeah, I know you have, because I heard y'all. So. I didn't think about Amjad. What he doing? This came to my mind. Oh, how you have a what? Oh, how you don't have no school? It's a TPS school. Uh, and Fitness Academy at that?
It's a little baby fall out.
Uh,
Asthmatic.
uh,
Fitness school don't
uh, that's what I would, you're a fitness school. They should be teaching all that, let alone having a nurse there.
We need 3 people right there.
Physical fitness person, like all of that. Oh my God. See, see that they need to be shamed. Yes, she floated, and they float that we had like 3 main people, like of course, our hearing person, she floated, and our psychologist, she floated. That's dangerous.
I was going to say you need to.
Okay, see what happened was, I mean,
What had happened was, uh, what? But you know what? Because I'm thinking about going back to long term sub. I'm thinking about subbing. I, I
You
like
better pray.
I like fair housing. When I'm at fair housing and I like what I do because I'm in fund development, but I don't know.
Do you put hands on kids?
No, I don't.
Oh, now you
Oh, you mean do that when I was no, and I taught teenagers at Achieve Academy, okay, and it was
These kids is different.
no, I just came out
They
of
will
it.
make you put hands.
I worked at Achieve Academy.
I
But
snatched up the little white boy, and I went and turned my resignation in 2 days later. I said,
see, I don't do little kids. Big kids, I can handle them.
he was a third
I can't handle little kids. Teenagers, I can handle them because we can have conversation. They can get it. They might not want to get it, but they get it. So I rather deal with them. And I done dealt with the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst.
Yeah, all the kids I do better.
I can't do the little kids.
Was testing they
What school? Oh.
Road 2 is ED. They talking about just upstairs. I said, no.
That's a shame.
No, you need to. You wear all the hats.
We could do that. We have artists just added on another program within our art programs. We just added on another activity, which will be spoken word and poetry. We just added on that component, and we ready to fly. I got a couple of poets that are ready to come in and do it. So it's like always we always have a curriculum of some kind of an art form and someone to instruct it.
See, I'm working on all of that. I got
You have my email. You email me and let me know, and that's not a problem.
But Monday, we there Mondays and Tuesdays at the Maumee.
Oh,
Which days are better for you?
doesn't matter because it might not be me. It'll be an art instructor just based on their availability and when they are. So if you send me the particulars, I'll put it out to our instructors and say this is what they're looking for. This is the day, da da da, and they'll let me know whether they can
They
who
gonna be as
can do it.
personable as you.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
everybody, we all work. Anybody that works with me, they that is where they're working from
Okay.
because I have a lot of instructors that I can pull from, but they're only people who are really understanding to the process and are passionate about it. And depending on how long the program goes, like if we do 4 weeks or something like that, I usually come the first 1 or 2 just because I do. It don't have nothing to do with nothing other than that. I like the connection to make with young people.
Well, it would be one time February, we'll go in March, one time in April.
Okay. Email me because we can work something out. And Wayman Palmer is one of those entities that the director that left, she wanted us to come over there, but she had gone. The lady that was over the city, she was gone, and but she made sure whoever it was that she connected with at Wayman Palmer to know that we were willing to do it. We just never got a chance to do it. So we're open to doing something at Wayman Palmer. You just email me and tell me what you want, and I got you from there. You got like 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Click cancel. Click cancel. No, you gotta touch it. Otherwise, it's gonna cut off.
I was like, what is going on? I'm glad I had you here because this part, I am not the tech person, as you see. I gotta learn. Oh. All right. You all can stop right here. I'll give you a few more minutes before you do your actual presentations, but you can stop at this point. I can say congratulations to you. Like I'm walking around listening, and I was like, wow, like they get it, and I like the fact that to just let you go and then figure some things out for yourself through conversation, and then where you need me is where I can jump in and fill the gaps and give you information to say, oh, we already knew that, or oh, we were already doing that anyway. That kind of thing. So I hope that through this experience you gain some valuable peer relationships amongst one another with people that you didn't know. You got a chance to know some perspectives of some people who you do know, and that you're able to go back to your organizations and be of value to them in ways that you didn't know you were. I hope this was an empowering day in that way, and that you found some things that make sense in building an organization and understanding how it is important at the beginning of the game in order to be sustainable. It is important. All of this work, groundwork, is important to sustainability. It begins with you, and it begins in the beginning of it. So I just want to kind of go over this briefly, and then what we'll do is I will let you tighten it up for presentation purposes. I'm gonna give you a sheet so you know the order of what you want to do and who's gonna say what, and then each organization will get to present their new now nonprofit, from my brain to yours. Thank you so much. And you got to look at it from all perspectives. Does the organization's ESG include best practice for the environment that it operates from? We talked about those two things because there were questions, and that comes from looking at it from two perspectives, not just the physical environment, but the environment that you create in who you are as an organization. Does the organization initiative cover fundraising and volunteer advocacy efforts? Like, I don't know how much you got to talk about the fundraising aspect of how to raise money, where you're going to get it from, some marketing strategies that could be really simple, those kind of things to get the word out there so people know who to give to or who to come to based on their need. And philanthropy refers to charitable acts. Does the organization cover charitable donating, money, volunteering, or other forms of altruism? So just so you have something in there about how to raise your money in order to further your mission, or how to give away your money or give away your product, so to speak, to those people who need it. I think for us as a Black community, we do not use the word philanthropy enough. Philanthropy. We need to use that word. We need to own that word. We need to make that word a part of our conversation in the world of nonprofit, because philanthropy started in my mind of understanding it is Mary McLeod Bethune. She was a powerful philanthropist from the point of selling spaghetti dinners and pies and all those kinds of things, to now there is a college that's named after her, and who she enrolled in her mission of forwarding her initiatives, the people who were people that the nation knew. So those are the things that we need to get. Like, our churches are beginnings of philanthropy for us. That's our most relatable way. And it grew us into much more. So just make sure that you think about philanthropy and the word, and own it, and go and look at philanthropic deeds. There's a major. If I was younger, I'd do it. You can get a PhD in philanthropic studies. The School of Nonprofit Training, they just opened up a cohort of like maybe 8 people from all over the world who are their first cohort of that fast track to do their PhD in philanthropic studies. If I was younger, I would do it. I would. But, I would say that for Milton. Yeah. So just think about how important we are in that way. And creating less listening sessions. That's becoming very popular. And listening sessions are so important. And that helps you as an organization listen to the other people about what they need, what they want, what they want to do, how they want to get it done. It gives the organization a great frame of reference when you talk to the people who you want to serve, instead of talking at them, or instead of saying, this is what we built. Yeah, not for you, y'all come get it. Like, but you didn't even ask me what I wanted. Those kind of things. So listening sessions become very valuable to the organization, and it lets the community know that you're interested. It lets the community know that you are vested in them and that you want to hear from them. Though that's important. So listening sessions are really, really, really valuable and important. Um, the organizational initiatives, ESG, and the platform that I gave you. Just wanted to overpopulate that information just to say that I gave you that extra worksheet so that you could kind of gather your thoughts on those two things, because I was listening to everybody and you were already doing it, but just making sure you had a framework and you worked on it separately and really understood what that was. That was what that part was about. Wait a minute. Okay, so you are now going to put the presentation together, like decide who's going to do what out of the process. I have a paper with everything listed. If you've been writing all over your paper and you just want to look at something fresh, or if you're fine, that's okay. But just make sure that you have those 4 components covered within your organization. I don't know how you want to present it, if you each want to take a part or you want one person to do it all. That's up to you. I'll give each one this. It's just a fresh list. That's all. It's what you already have, but it's just a fresh list so you can have someone look at it and make sure that you have everything that you need. And make sure it's like maybe like 5 minutes a piece, 5-10 minutes. Don't have to be long. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
And then we'll start backwards. So we're going to start with group 5 and go up to 1 instead of starting at 1 and go. And we'll switch it up a little bit. Okay. Right. And the last shall be first. How you doing? Oh no, you're not gonna email it to me. You're gonna actually you're gonna stand up and talk. If you did it in a presentation way and you want me to do it that way, I can. But if right, you just talk. Oh. Y'all have 5 minutes. So you have 5 minutes to get it all together. If you want to email it to me, if that makes if you want to do it that way, you can email it to me. Yep. So let me right. My email is at the top of your pages, your worksheets. So to be easy to So that should be like 25 minutes to get through all these, and we should. So we good.
Yeah, we leave at 2. Well, we
Okay,
need about maybe 5 minutes for the
we good.
evaluation.
The biggest part, and they each should take 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right. So it's no big deal. So we should get through those. Good. That was my concern. Yep. And some of them said they're gonna email them to me, so they got them all.
So I would like a piece of every one of the papers so I can put them into our thing.
Oh, I can email. You want me to email it to you? Or
Scan them.
okay, yeah.
And then that way, the people that's not here today, they'll
Yep.
also have it.
They'll have it.
You know, yeah. You coming next week?
You know what? Actually, what's next week? The 17th?
No.
The
Next week is not the 17th.
It's the
11th.
the
10th.
11th.
3.
I know. Like
10. It's the 10th.
It's the 10th.
Yeah.
I should be here next week. This was good.
This is excellent. This was a great way to do that.
Because
I got this in white. Tafari
oh,
or something like
yes,
that.
yes. I have them in. I have the black. I have the white. I have the blue, and I got the like tiger, like the tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Somebody just gave it to me. I don't remember who it is. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. No
You was like, sure, no problem. Yeah, but no,
This is very good.
That's good because you like people don't get it if you just talk at them. So if they
Yeah,
do
we
it,
like to do a
and
lot of
then
activities.
all the stuff that's coming afterwards, they're gonna like so be on it, and they'll have a lot of good questions. They don't even realize it.
Yeah, I've never heard of ESG before, so that was new for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
very good information.
So they'll have a lot of questions.
About that from a nonprofit standpoint.
Yes, you
You
gotta.
know what I'm saying? But that's really good
Yep.
stuff.
And when you're dealing with young people, because see,
Yeah.
they come in,
Yeah.
they I don't care, no matter
Like,
what.
oh, y'all bring out
Yeah,
that paper.
all that
Which
paper, y'all do this, y'all
I
do that.
say that about the paper thing because
Yeah.
I'm technology. And so
Yep. And I'm trying to I'm trying to pull
technology.
myself out of
Yeah.
it. And see, my board is all young people.
That's good.
I'm the old one.
Yeah, that's good.
And I picked them to
Yeah,
be that on
purpose.
purpose,
That's right.
you know. And like they were like, okay, so what we gonna do about the intake of the money for the fundraiser?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we could just do no.
Ain't nobody
They're
doing
like,
no
you need
checks.
to. They're like, you need to go get squared, right?
Yeah.
Get squared.
Why would you ever
And I
take
was
money? People beat you
right.
over the head and
Take all your money. That's how they look at it. And I was like, okay, so I had to order squared.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody
right.
and I don't know who is paying to get slips of paper to spend their own money.
It doesn't make sense, right? Nobody. I don't either. Like, I don't either. So what am I telling other people they need to do it?
But a lot of old people, they do still write
they
checks.
still write checks, and then like even ACEs,
They're
like
old
they still
school.
they still send you out checks if you
ACEs
want them,
is super old school.
but we get paid now. We get paid through Zelle. They
Oh,
send our money
that's
for
nice.
for as LCs.
That's
They
nice.
send our money
Okay.
through that if we
I didn't know
want
they
it.
paid y'all.
If not host families,
Oh.
no, but I'm a local coordinator,
Oh,
so I
know that.
actually
Okay.
I actually recruit families
Oh,
to.
pulled you on here.
Yeah, but you know what? We work so.
She's so funny.
But you know what? We work so differently that I make her step up her game because I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, look, you have all these people. Right, just stop. And see, I'm the person that'll tell her that.
Like I'm in a diversity group. And,
Oh.
so she
Bill Hilt just pissed her off though. She ain't gonna go back to the one group no more. Yeah. But hey, you know. Yeah, but they do things so differently. Like it's
we
so
gave
cool.
them a donation. We had to send it all the way to Oregon.
Yeah.
Because they don't
do it
Can
local.
you write it to me? I was like, I don't think so.
No, you can't do that.
It goes to the Oregon.
It goes to the Oregon, then it'll come back to you. You know. Yeah.
It was really tricky. We'll have fun with that. But at least you get to travel.
I get to, yeah, I do. But see, she's like, well, you do this, and how do you do that? Like, you know what? I keep telling you, but I can't keep telling you because I'm out to do this over here, and however I can help these kids, yeah, I can. Because think about it, she don't do nothing else. She only does her work. She has no social with she's not even with her sorority. She straight is. She is a Delta, but she is straight aces. That's it.
I mean, I can see why.
I can too, but you gotta do more
She's
than that.
nice.
Right,
But she
right.
does take
She does. I'd be like, no,
oh
and
my
then
God.
you just have to walk away.
Yeah,
And
you do.
and
or
I
start
do.
talking to somebody else. We be like this. Okay. And she just be
You
going
so
on.
stupid.
And then I'll be like,
You ain't
I
right.
do.
Oh,
It's not that many brown of us in that group, right?
right. Oh God. Okay, group one sent me there. So that means group five is ready to just do their presentation, right? Group five. Group five. Group five. Are you ready? So there's only one that actually needs the screen, but everybody else is boom, ready.
Don't worry about it. We eco friendly. We eco friendly.
Oh, eco-friendly. They are practicing ESG. Like, yeah. Oh God, that is so fun. Well, okay, number five. You are up first. That is so funny.
Oh, my name's Carrie, and our group is called the Anna Project. Okay, our mission and our vision. Our mission statement is empowering youth transitioning from foster care to home stabilization by teaching home economics, walking them through emotional healing, financial stability, and teaching life skills. Our vision is empowering independence for youth transitioning from foster care.
She's like, okay, I'm done. Okay, y'all look up at me and smile real quick. Everybody look at me. Yeah, there you go. Now, okay, I'm good.
Okay, the board structure is to have quality meetings with Newcomb, quarterly meeting with Newcomb County Children's Services and other county services. Monthly board meetings, partnering with other community services.
The other part is getting OGs with sustainability. We talked about asking for donations, having an annual function for fundraising, and apply for grants. Meetings, we already talked about meetings. To serve, we already said that serving transitioning foster care youth adults or young adults between the ages of 18 and 24. What was the other thing? Okay, ESG, teaching computer services, teaching things like recycling, teaching online banking with budgeting, credit building, and financial wellness. Our initiatives.
Our marketing would be marketing would be getting together with other emails, posts on Facebook, all the different search engines, creating a website, so it can be accessible on TikTok, IG, all types of social media in order to network and have people be aware of the services because this is something that most youth coming out of foster care, they don't know what's there for them. There's money out there, they just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So our initiative will be along with make sure they have cooking classes, make sure they're aware of the services, budget, financial, as you already said, healthy living, knowing how to sew, repair clothes, give them some life skills, college readiness, family planning, and those are the things, and home management, which kind of those things. Those are the things that we would do to help reach, help those students that are in foster care transition into adulthood.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Yay. Um, just based on time, group number two, it was right, 1, 2, is gonna go next because one of them has to leave.
All right, we are the Polyglot Network.
Polyglot.
So our focus is world language learning for Black Americans. We chose the name the Polyglot Network because a polyglot is someone that uses or speaks more than several languages.
Wow.
And our slogan is "You're speaking my language."
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Hmm.
So in order to keep our organization functioning, we want to definitely make sure we have targeted and focus on the children, that we have a network of language experts and educators that are available to us. We want to partner with community centers also so that we have spaces that we can do our workshops and sessions, as well as tapping into volunteers and other um, so keep the community involved through social media, volunteerism efforts, and info sessions or expositions. So before we get started, we want to have the community experience what it is that we're offering so that they know what kind of workshops and classes their children will be participating in.
For ESG or environmental, our goal is to make the environment that of what the kids are learning. So when they come in, we may be cooking cultural foods or something of that nature. We'll also, as well, we want to make our programs accessible for those with disabilities. So we may have someone there with a sign language interpreter or maybe closed captions or something of that nature.
And then for governance, or, no, I'm sorry, social, we said make our program accessible to disability. For governance, we said confidentiality, because that's very important, and conflict of interest, and how to resolve that with like the board. And then our bullet points for the initiative, we said in-person language workshop, online store selling e-learning material, and then last, do a foreign exchange with students.
Yep. Yep. Hold on 1 second. Let me everybody look at me so I can take a video. Yeah, 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 pass the hat, pass the hat. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Okay, so now we're going this was number 3. That was 2. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yes. So, yep.
We received our name was Souls for Everyone, but the name of our company will be named Souls for Kids. We're going to cater to 18 and under who are
Okay, and our mission statement is covering peace for our youth to step into excellence.
Wow. Ooh, they went there. I didn't think about that part.
For our youth to step into excellence. So basically, our mission is to provide shoes to homeless youth.
Mm.
Okay, so our board structure.
Well, we will have a governance. We will understand what the governance is of our structure. That's going to include for our community involvement, have a part of us, CEOs, administrators, education, administrators of companies, we want parents, we want teachers, we want local shelters, administrators, we want someone in the finance on our board structure.
As far as the meeting, we talked about meeting twice a month starting out, because we have a lot of ground to cover.
Oh, that's aggressive.
When it comes to connecting with educators, definitely want to be schedule that community. And then the community is a whole different section. We meet more frequently starting off, allows us to cover
Yay, thank you.
For our fundraisers, we're looking at utilizing grants. We're definitely going to utilize our community donors or donors in the community. So those businesses that are within the proximity of where our agency is located, we will be addressing and asking those businesses for donations, for our cause, and also, rigorous
Philanthropic.
Yes.
Yeah, that word.
Yes. Yes. And so as far as our marketing, we would like to market to our schools in the area, the shelters. We're gonna have flyers in the schools and see that those flyers get appearance. And then we will utilize our website to so people that's visiting our website know that we're open to accepting different use shoes for our youth. So we're being conscious that way. So we're not just going out buying shoes. We're actually recycling different use shoes for other students. And then for our technology and communication, certainly we're going to utilize social media and all the latest, programs and things.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yanni.
We're Group 3.
I think that was it. Is that everybody?
We were given the task of coming up with some tech care for the underserved community. We named our nonprofit Pause for You. And our mission is to serve elderly people who have pets and help them remove some of the barriers of senior pet ownership. And the vision is that every senior who has a pet will have that available pet service. So our board structure, we thought about that, and we decided to have two board structures. One for the business side, and one for the program side. And our community involvement is community service, education, and donation. And our beginning OG sustainability, we're talking about some of the mental health institutions to help with our senior issues. Somebody came up with a good idea about the Echo Green bags.
What?
What? Everybody's probably familiar with that.
No fair, y'all got
Yeah. I guess for the meetings we decided to go monthly in the beginning, till we start wrapping things up. Fundraising, in-kind funding, sponsors, and senior initiatives. Marketing was a little tricky because you have the flyers, newspapers, and kind of more the technology. That's for like the sponsors, community involvement. But as we know, most seniors, they're not really up with the technology, so it has to be more word of mouth. more in person, like bulletin board, more,
Yep.
you know. I know we save money with the technology, but for them, you kind of gotta do the old school kind of stuff.
That's
in
right.
person,
That's right.
you know, bulletin board.
Flyers still
And
working in New York.
use that paper.
All right. You recycle.
Yes, there you go.
Ah.
You know, technology, communication is the same thing. Those two kind of go together. You know, use social media for our sponsors,
Yeah.
television, online things, commercials, and those things. But with the seniors, I think it's a good thing though that we kind of do some of that old school stuff, especially with the ones who, you know, not up with technology with the seniors. And I think that helps better form relationships too, because we all know that with the technology, relationships are kind of like, you know, going downhill from that. So basically, that's our presentation.
Wow, thank you. Yay. Okay. Let me. They did. Good job.
There's somebody who wanted to type it not right. There we go.
I'm getting it.
So could I get in this committee? Come on.
Right. I do have to get a group picture somehow, so you know. I know, but I gotta get y'all because y'all was all sitting there. I didn't want to.
Oh yeah. We can get a picture after she's done.
Go on. She ready for what she needs.
Come on, I'll take it real quick. Real quick.
That's right.
Be ready. There you go. Easy. I like y'all. Y'all got a sense of humor. It's a good group of people.
Group one is will serve with the wonderful Nita, Janae, Tracy, Heather, and Miss Linda. Name of our organization, well, the paper, where's our little paper? This, we were given career exploration for urban families. Our name of our organization is Families Working with Families. What do we want to accomplish? Expose and explore diverse career opportunities. Why do we exist? Real simple. Lack of. What will you achieve? We will achieve diverse careers that will create passionate workers. Who will we serve? Real simple. Urban communities. Mission, helping the urban community to pursue the passionate path for diverse career opportunities. Our mission statement that we put on a t-shirt, pursuing the passionate path. Play on the P's. Organizational structure would be conformed out of board members, educators, community activists, partnerships within the partnerships, clothing persons or stores, churches, social services, union job workers, electricians, plumbers, etc. We will involve the community by having workshops, training, podcasts, and seminars. We have some people that don't want to be seen on the TV, so let their voice be heard. Begin sustainability. Starting out, we will meet monthly. Being ESG, the environmental part, we will recycle trash and recycle clothing. So bring your clothing so we can distribute it to other people that are in need. For the working part of it, that will give us clothing for them to do interviews. Socially, we're still kind of playing with that part. And
to go up? Do you need to go up?
there we go. Governance, we will have our bylaws and regulations, and then following the rules of grants, funding sources, grants, and corporate sponsorships. Marketing, getting the word out, flyers, social media, recycle paper, radio and TV, and technology, communication tools, and resources. Our resources would come out of our partnerships that we would have, and technology will come from the different gadgets that we can get sponsored. We would like to have those sponsored to people that are going for jobs and communication tools. We would invest in phones. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. You know, I just thought of the names. I didn't go that deep. And
That's funny.
I did. I really did. I just thought of the names. But this was amazing. I'm excited. Like, are we gonna really see these? Like, is this gonna really happen? But you know, just the process of doing it, it gets you excited. It gets you motivated. You can see where founders of organizations, you can see their passion through your own passion of just, playing around. Like this was even like the real deal. And look how far you took it, and look how your mind expanded, and how you thought about things and all that kind of stuff. And that's what creates sustainability, because at the end of the day, whatever you create in the beginning, it has to be powerful enough to keep going. Because now 100 years later, PDK is still that we still function, we still uphold that mission, that vision, we still try to make those initiatives strong. We, of course, in time of 100 years, you might reinvent some things, you may restructure some things, but it's still there. So whatever that passion was for those women then, it's still here now. And that goes for all of the organizations. And we're hoping that that's what we're doing, and that we continue to do it, and we continue to recruit those people, whether they're the people who give us money, whether the people that volunteer, the people who decide to be on the board, like all those things. So I just wish you all the best. I hope that all of the rest of the presentations that we do and the workshops that we experience, they all come together to make sense for us, so that we can continue to further the mission of just being people who serve. That is the main thing. There are other questions within the actual slideshow that I would like for you, to take some time and answer, yourself. It doesn't have to be a group effort. I think we've done a lot of connecting today, so that kind of can be more of an individual kind of questioning yourself, and things to think about, so that you can make the meetings and the opportunities that you have going forward, make them more meaningful, and put people to the test, so we can all do this at our best ability. And that's pretty much it for me. I hope you did good.
Excellent job.
Thank you.